Hi Virgo, this is LunarticksTarot with a reading for anyone who identifies with the Virgo energy in September 2018. Happy birthday, Virgos. I hope you are all able to celebrate however you truly want to this month. And I think, just to jump right into the reading, I think that some of you are sitting on information, maybe that allows you or has allowed you to make a decision, but you're keeping it close to the chest. You're keeping it to yourself that you have this information, that you know either what decision you're going to make or maybe just some truth about someone, a situation. And I'm not sure why. I'm guessing it's different for each of you, but I'm not sure why you're keeping that information close to the chest, or how that helps you move on to a cleaner, clearer, healthier, happier space mentally and maybe physically as well, but certainly mentally and probably emotionally then. But that is a product of the situation as well, it looks like, for many Virgos anyway. Those are messages that came through before recording. And certainly if there is a decision involved, either presently or for some of you down the road regarding this information that you're keeping to yourself, making that decision in the way that is comfortable for you, leaning in the direction that feels true and correct to you based on that information that maybe only you are privy to, or that not everyone involved is privy to, leads to that space that the Six of Swords is what I'm describing when I say a healthier, happier, cleaner, easier, clearer mental space. So that's definitely on the horizon as a result of making that decision the way that you know you need to. The way that makes sense based on that information that maybe only you have right now. Oh, there was also a message that there may be gifts from Spirit, Source, whatever anchors you, divine gifts from the powers that be, if you will, from the multiverse, the chaos, if nothing else. It just depends on your personal belief structure there, but you are being aided by forces outside of yourself. You're being aided in ways that you couldn't do for yourself. Oh, and to certainly remember that and keep faith and have hope if some of those decisions that I was talking about have to do with your finances, your resources, and there's a little bit of struggle balancing. Some of you may also be stalling on making that decision for some reason, but if any of that has to do with your finances, your resources, your sense of security in that sense, in that way, keep the faith that something outside of yourself, greater than you, will I don't want to say will intervene, but will be aiding you in again, ways that you couldn't aid yourself. And the message is not, with a pat on the back, just keep the faith, just have hope, just to make you feel better. The message is have faith, keep the faith, and have hope, because it's in that vibration that they are then able to help you, that something outside of yourself is able to aid you in the way that you may feel you need to. For those Virgos who do have financial questions in their mind. The King of Swords is covering you. Representing you here in September 2018. So let's let you watch these with me. So the King of Swords is someone who's very wise, honest. This is honest counsel. This is someone with very intelligent ideas, and they don't let you down. They don't let you down because they're honest about what they intend to do, and if they can't, why they can't follow through, but that's rare. And you're showing up in reverse here. So you may, at this time, you may just have no choice but to let someone down. We all find ourselves at places in our lives where we're stretched too thin, and ultimately, inevitably, an obligation or two falls through the cracks, and we have to make apologies. This month may be about that for some Virgos. It is your birthday month. You should prioritize celebrating yourself and your life and your month and your season. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, in whatever way you truly want to, in whatever way makes you happy, and that may mean you have to still steal some time for yourself. That could be how you're letting someone down. The King of Swords, since it's reversed here, could also be speaking to someone who is telling a lie or lies, someone who's not being totally honest. And that would fall in line with the original message of choosing to keep some information close to your chest, choosing to keep some information to yourself, to, I think, help your, it would seem from these messages so far, to help your clear and cleanse, again, your own mental space, which is paramount. That has to be put first. You have to feel that you have a healthy and happy space and mental state from which to perceive and interact, because that perception will then leak into every area of your life, right? So it's just another way in which we can't, none of us can take care of someone else if we haven't taken care of ourselves first. So, and you find yourself this month, Virgos, with the, at some point this month, feeling and acting and looking and seeming like you meeting the energy of being able to manifest whatever you want. And I think and I think you feel that way. I think you feel that way because of the resources, the time, the energy, maybe the money and the actual material resources, physical material resources, but I also think particularly time, because of the time and energy you've been able to conserve for yourself. And at first, for many of you Virgos, for much of September, you may feel like, you know, you're experiencing success and it's just not what you thought it would be. To draw on the messages that I got from before recording, maybe because, you know, you are having to keep some of that success to yourself. You're able to afford, whatever you're doing currently affords you more time, affords you some more resources, but you have to keep that to yourself for some reason. And because you're not able to share that outright yet, in order to ensure more future success, and in order to ensure that you properly celebrate the success that you've achieved thus far, that could make us feel like we're being selfish, like we're letting someone down, like we're lying to someone, like we're not being honest, when really, you know, it's for a lot of us, it's a matter of needing to conserve our energy, needing to ensure our health, needing to ensure future growth, building upon the success that we're already currently celebrating, needing to, you know, not ignore that achievement and make sure that it again is properly celebrated. But it might not be exactly, it may be that it can't be exactly in the ways that you want it to be, that we want it to be, because of having to keep some of that information to ourselves. And so again, that could leave us with the feeling, certainly going into September, but maybe throughout much of it, that success isn't exactly what we thought it would be. Some of you may be even asking questions. I don't know what we're talking about: a business, a project, a relationship, a way of life, a home. But some of you may I don't know the specifics of what we're talking about for any of you, but some of you may feel like you need to start over in that area. And it probably does have to do with communications and finances, either communications and relationships that are tangled up with your finances, or a communicative portion of a business that is then directly tied up with your resources. And I should say resources instead of finances, because again, I'm also specifically referring to our conservation of our total energy, meaning also our time, not just our money, not just our resources this month. I think the advice is that we try to separate ourselves from these earthly things, that this reading seems to be circulating around. We've achieved a certain amount of success, completed a significant cycle, achieved a certain feeling of material mastery that, like I said before, it makes us feel like we can manifest anything we want and have cause to celebrate, but it also leaves us I think during this month we can choose to acknowledge that it also leaves us no longer earthbound in a sense, specifically for most of us, in the sense that we don't have to obsess about and worry about and circle around these material affairs that this reading has. There's also like this hint, this sense that we're unable to sacrifice something, we're unable to let something go. There may be the suggestion here that we're holding on too tightly to those earthly obsessions, be it our time, money, some other resource, or all the above. If you have significant Pisces in your chart, Virgo, and it's certainly the sign opposite you, so if you have significant Pisces energy in your life, I should say, if you are someone who notices it. If you don't, if that's not part of your world, ignore this part. But if there is a significant Pisces either in your chart or in your life that comes to mind as I'm saying this, Virgo, the advice may also be to acknowledge that Piscean's shadow side. A lot of Virgos are moving out of a space of having been quite social. And there are still lingering connections, habits, routine gatherings, or something of the sort, etc. And if there is drinking involved or some other addictive behavior that you feel is comparable to imbibing with alcohol, that's a pattern that's repeating. There is definitely a message here that habit will hinder you in these endeavors, in celebrating the success, in not to say not to imbibe with your friends to celebrate the success at all, but making an unhealthy habit, right? Because the King of Pentacles doesn't just have his, time and money and resources and energy mastered and under control. His health is obviously under control. And there's the sense that your subconscious and in my mind, a higher part of you would prefer that you get into nature and into your body more often if you're someone that message of drinking or engaging in some other comparable behavior applies to. That's not for all Virgos, though. Instead, there's also the message instead that if that doesn't resonate, it could be that leaving a group actually aids you in these endeavors. Facing a disappointment that may come with leaving some group, be it a friend group, a work group, etc., may aid you in whatever situation unfolded for you here, if this resonated. There's an overall energy. There's an overall energy, a unifying message of just needing to allow yourself to have what you want. Allow yourself to still shoot for your biggest dreams. Still aim for them. Be mindful of whether or not you're settling for something that you don't really want, or that doesn't really make you happy, or and that could be that habit that I'm referring to. Does it really make you happy? Or that group, do they really make you happy? Because I also think with the Ten of Cups showing up right afterwards as the clarifier, I also think this Nine of Cups is just blocked. You're just in need of some TLC from yourself, some self-love, some combing over and refining of your near and distant dreams and goals, beliefs in the world and in yourself, in your capabilities. And drinking and or spending time with a group that's not healthy for you, or engaging in any other activity too often. I'm not saying not to engage at all, but too often to an unhealthy point, whether it's, actually in taking a substance or just in taking energy from people that you don't jive with, or both. And often it's both, right? Is not self-love and does not, you're coming out of a period of deciding to be more social again. So it's hard to tell you to pull away from people if that's the message. But the truth is that is not self-love. And yes, we need interaction and friends and love and support and network and that feeling of stress relief that comes with comfort from those who care for us, etc. That just is the tip of the iceberg, right? Like, I'm just starting to get out. We need that network and that community tribe of some sort around us, for our health as well. Yes, but again, the truth is, engaging in those behaviors or with those type of people that aren't good for you, it's not self-love. If you're not demonstrating self-love to yourself. It was redundant, but what I'm trying to say. Because I think that energy is just blocked. Because I think you really are just a decision or two away from showing yourself love to the extent that you can progress then to the Ten of Cups, where then you can share it with someone or someones whom maybe a Scorpio who's significant to you, who are healthier for you, who want to encourage healthier behaviors in you, or mirrors the healthier habits of yours, appreciates that the more evolved side of you. Also, with the transformation card here, with the death card on the bottom of the clarifier deck, I also, aside from there potentially being a Scorpio, also see the message, of course, then of transformation, of rebirth, of shedding the old. So if it's it may be a group of people, But whether it's specifically a group of people or not, it's a way of life that felt like a part of you. If even just for a little while you believed that it may always be a part of you, it gave you such security, or came at a time in your life when you were offering yourself success and security, and were working toward it, and this thing that you're now shedding, maybe this group of people, maybe just this way of life, this way of being, was there at the same time, and it felt like maybe it arrived at the same time, and it felt like it was part of your security, it was part of your success. And again, even if only for a moment, you allowed yourself to believe that it might always be a part of you in some way. Your future card is the Youth. But you have to shed that thing. You have to shed, whether it's that group of people, that bad habit, those negative thoughts, negative thought patterns, that way of being. It has to be shedded. It has to be shed in order to reach this 10 of Cups that we're progressing toward. The Youth as your future, when it falls in your future position, says, the youth that comes to you in a future position has more of a passive message and meaning. Here he speaks of the influence of emotional energy, unconscious thoughts and beliefs, and how they work to manifest the future. The youth, because he chooses to live in the moment, gives less thought to consequences and future outcomes, and because he lives life free from the burdens of fear and doubt, his choices often give rise to a future that is both productive and creative. How many times have you talked yourself out of doing what you know will make you happy for fear of what might go wrong? How many times have you shied away from a spontaneous moment or impulse that could have manifested in joy and laughter because you were afraid of the way others would react? A live-in-the-moment approach to life can often result in a happier future, especially if the choices and actions of the present are motivated by pure intentions, positive thoughts, and love. For all of his seeming lack of awareness, the youth moves through life with a lighter step because he does not worry about tomorrow. This does not mean that he lacks depth or is ignorant. He is passionate and willing to commit to a cause that interests him, and he does so without fear. In the same way, he refuses to expend energy or attention on that which holds no interest for him, or what might or might not eventuate. It could be said that this is the true essence of freedom. It could be. From many perspectives, it certainly does sound like freedom. Living in the moment only. I just feel like this abundance here on the bottom of the deck echoes your 10 of Cups here. Okay, so some Virgos are also having trouble speaking their truth in general, which falls right in line with if you're, holding some information back to yourself, feeling like you're lying in some way to someone or omitting information. You're actually having trouble speaking your truth, and that may resonate. Saying it in that way may resonate more with other Virgos. For some of you specifically, you're having trouble speaking your truth because you're feeling suspicious of someone else. You may feel like someone else is plotting, or like you need to. It might be putting you in a harsh, rigid, or cruel way, state of mind, way of being, or you're dealing with someone who's in that state, okay? That's specifically for some Virgos. That's a new angle that am looking at the King of Swords from now after hearing your future position. And I'd like to expand on that and dig in even more, but we're almost at a half an hour, so I have to wrap this up. Virgos, happy birthday again. And if you resonated with this, if you took something away from this reading, please do like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, reach out, share. I really appreciate all of the support to Lunarticks Tarot. Thank you so much for all of you who have donated and reached out for readings already and interacted with the channel. It is truly, truly appreciated. If you do need a personal reading from me, check out the description box down below this video. You'll see a list of all of my services. You'll see the free reading options. You'll notice they're taking 4 weeks to get back to you, so be patient with those. If you need a reading sooner than that, though, there are also some paid options that are very affordable. There's a $10 quick fix now. There are 24-hour options now if you need a rushed reading. And there's also another general reading up for the collective already for Virgo season. I think I titled it something like futuristic fantasies, something like that. It's in there amongst the August readings with a different thumbnail though. So check that out. That may apply to you if you want more free content and you want it now. There's always that reading to check out. Otherwise, I just want to say I love you, Virgos. Please enjoy your birthday season, your birthday month, and I will post another tarot fix for you just as soon as I can.